Good morning, everyone. Nicole Vincent here. I hope you had a great Easter weekend. It was a fabulous one for me and my family as we remembered and honored our Savior and His risen glory. Today we are going to be talking about crystals and gemstones. And I'm here on my phone today because I want to have the flexibility to move around, because I kind of want to show you how I use these stones around my home and how easy it is. And it's not mystical, it's not crazy, it's not weird, because these can be such a great asset and addition to your home and in your life and in your healing process. Now, first off, I want to say, I know crystals and stones kind of have a bad rap, right? Because the kind of that mystical new age world, those that aren't necessarily working with a God-centered angle have clung on to these tools, because really these are just tools. They're not good or bad. They're just tools. And it's kind of how you wield that tool. And we've talked about that before, that concept. And so keep that in mind as we are talking about these stones. So if something resonates with you, grab onto it, learn more, run with it. If something doesn't resonate with you, just kind of stick it on that shelf and come back to it later. And if it's right for you, then use it. If not, just keep it on that shelf. But these crystals and stones, they're not evil. They are beautiful, beautiful gifts that our Heavenly Father has given us to use on this earth, to use in our healing process, to make us feel great, and to just be a great asset that we can draw on. Now, this world is amazing. There's so many different tools out there. There's so many different stones available. And so I know it's easy to get overwhelmed. So just kind of start with a few that you're drawn to. And if you see a rock and you like it, buy it. It doesn't matter if you understand why. You're drawn to it for a reason. Because these stones and crystals have properties and personalities just like the essential oils do, right? We talked about, Kim was awesome last week in the chakra class talking about the different emotions and essential oils and how that comes into play, and how the essential oils not only have physical properties, but they have emotional properties as well. Same thing with the stones. Oh, of course, my dogs decide to go ape crazy. So sorry about that. Hold on. Thank you. Hush. Yeah, I hear you. They're looking at me through the door saying, come on, Mom, someone's here. But no one's here. No one's here. There's no one. No one here. No one. So let's get started about these crystals and stones, and just kind of, you can take notes, kind of see what you're drawn to. And this is not a comprehensive course. This is just going to be an introduction, just to kind of give you some ideas. And I definitely incorporate muscle testing as I use my stones, because that's a super easy way to know what kind of stones your body's wanting, if it's wanting any stones at all, and what to use, because there are a ton. There's hundreds and thousands of different stones, and so muscle testing is a great way to do it. So first off, I'm going to show you, I've got, so first off, the way that I like to use them the most are my bracelets. This is my little bracelet tray that I have here in my office. It sits right on my desk, and it has all my different gemstone bracelets. Oh my gosh, stupid joggers on my street. So I apologize about the dogs. So what I do every day is, and I actually do this multiple times a day. Hush! Thank you. I swear. I actually change my bracelets multiple times a day depending on what I have going on. So if I'm working with clients that day, I'm definitely going to have a stronger shielding bracelet on. If I'm going to be around my family and my kids, I'm going to be wearing bracelets that are going to be more loving and inviting and things like that. So I have lots of different ones here. I've just kind of collected them over time. Don't feel that you need to go and buy like $1 million worth of bracelets. You can if you have $1 million to spend on bracelets. But just kind of pick up one here and there. And I shared my favorite Etsy shop. Her name is Moon Lovers, just like the moon in the sky, Moon Lovers. And she does great bracelets. So what I kind of do is in the morning is I'll just kind of put my bracelets, I kind of spread them out so they're not in a giant heap. And I'm just going to muscle test. What bracelet would benefit me to wear right now? And I ask how many first. 1, 2, 3. So I need 3 right now. Actually, I need 4. Okay, so first is my favorite shielding bracelet. We talked about this in our shielding video. And this is called Merlin's Magic from from Moon Lovers. And this is a great, just generic shielding bracelet that helps for everything. So I'm going to put that on. Okay, next one. This is a bracelet that has a variety of different stones. It has some, I believe this is some sunstone, some carnelian, some red tiger's eye. And so that's another great bracelet. Next one. Okay, the next one I'm getting is my green. This is my prehnite. And prehnite is a really pretty green stone. This stone is known for heal the healer. So if you find yourself that you're a healer and you need to regenerate, prehnite is a great stone. And that's spelled Prehnite. And it's a beautiful green stone. I actually have a giant, this is a giant prehnite stone that I keep on my desk. Let me see if I can turn the light on for you guys to see a little bit better. But it's kind of cool green bubbles, light green colors. And so I just have this giant big one on my desk. So that way, as I work with my clients, as I'm working in the healing realm, I am getting recharged as well. So I'm going to put that prehnite on. And one more. Okay, this is blue chalcedony. And this is a very calming stone. So this helps you feel calm. So obviously, I need some shielding. The red carnelian and the red tiger's eye is also a shielding, but it's also like helps you feel strong and brave. The green helps you feel healed, and the blue helps you feel calm. So I obviously have a lot going on today, and I do. I just came back from doTERRA's leadership. I've got tons of stuff reeling around in my brain that I need to get out, and so this is letting me know that this is going to help reinforce and help me tackle those things that I have going on. So that's the first way I love to use it, is just gemstone bracelets. Now I will tell you, in my testing, bracelets and stones like to be on the left side of the body more often than the right, and more often than a necklace. The reason for that, and this is just this is my best guess, is that the left side is where we receive energy. This is our receiving side. And so, especially if we're shielding, we definitely want it to be on the left side of the body, either in your bra, in your pocket, or on your wrist. And so when you are using a stone for that purpose, and we've talked about that again in our shielding video, keep it on the left side. If you're seeking for healing, or maybe you have somebody around you that is not feeling well, putting something on the right side as you're giving, that can help amplify what you're trying to give. And so I don't test for my right side a ton. Usually it's when I'm around my children or my family, or around somebody that I'm very, very close to that needs extra love and just kind of that love and energy. And I will test, and typically it is my green prehnite, and then I also have a lemon quartz bracelet that likes to be on my right side sometimes as well. So that's something that you can also muscle test for, and just go through it. Jenny asks, how did you lay those out? Oh, I just threw them in piles on my desk. Like there's nothing fancy. I'm like, is this the one I need today? Is this the one I need today? Is this the one I need today? And so I just go through and test. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. I'm going to tell you right now, guys, I am not a crystal grid person. I am not anti-crystal grid, but that style has never really resonated with me. And so I really have never pursued crystal grids or anything very structured like that. I am very free in my use of stones, and very just, this is what feels right. This is what I'm going to do. Okay. So that's I think the easiest way to incorporate gemstones into your life, especially if you're like, I don't want rocks laying everywhere. I don't want a rock in my bra. I get a bracelet or two. And just kind of see what stands out to you. I will share a Google Doc with you with a list of a lot of different stones. And you'll see the purple ones are ones that I personally own. But that's just how I have it marked. So when I go to my stone shop or a stone show, I don't duplicate what I have. But that way you guys can get started. You can actually muscle test what stones would benefit me the most. And you can say what 5 stones would benefit me the most, or what 3 stones would benefit me the most. And you can use that within your muscle testing or your intuition. If muscle testing doesn't work for you, you can just kind of look at the list and just kind of wait for something to pop out at you. And it will, I promise. So bracelets are a great, great way to go. I personally prefer the 8mm beads and the stretchy ones because they're easy on and off. Okay, so that's bracelets. Next, let's look at loose stones. So loose stones are going to come in lots of different ways. So this is a snowflake obsidian. This is a tourmalated quartz. We've got some apatite. This is an aura aqua quartz. It's real pretty. It's kind of got a real light aqua tone. It's been treated with gold. This is a spirit quartz. It looks kind of like a crystallized poop, but this is a really high energy amethyst that's been treated, I believe, I'm not sure with. Yeah, Jenny says she can feel energy when she holds them. So that is a great way to go. You know, if you go to a stone shop and feel your stones, you can really feel that. Chrissy, let's see, just hopping on. If you already covered, what is the best way to use for anger and try to control things not in your control? Chrissy, the best way is just release control. You're not gonna. So we can look up different. I'll give you some resources on how to look it up for specific ailments later on. We're just going to kind of talk about using them because there's so many different. It was like if I was just highlighting petitgrain today on an oil, I could go on and on about petitgrain, but that leaves out the other 70 plus oils that are out there. Same thing with the stones. So I'm not going to highlight any specific stones today. I might touch on a couple, but I'll give you some resources and ideas so that you can look up what your personal concerns are and what stones would be great for that. Okay. So yeah, Jenny said, feel energy holding them. That's why it's so advantageous to go to a stone shop, go to a gem or jewelry show, and just hold the stone. So you can just kind of go through and just kind of hold it, see if it calls to you. And sometimes it'll make your hand feel a little buzzy, a little tingly. Sometimes it just makes you feel really, really good. I know, when was I think it was yesterday, I grabbed a stone and it was just like, oh, it just really was like an entire calming piece that came over my body. And that's kind of how you can check it out as well, test it out outside of muscle testing. Now, the reason that we can feel different is because they have different vibrations. They have different frequencies. And so they're not going to all be the same. Sometimes the color frequency is really big. So this example, this is a malachite. It's a beautiful, beautiful green stone. This is a stone that has copper in it. So if after handling it, you want to wash your hands, or excessive handling. Like if I'm here rubbing it all over myself, then I would definitely want to wash my hands, because copper in great doses can be toxic. But this is a gorgeous green stone. This is a stone that my husband is drawn to quite a bit. Whenever he is a super trooper and goes along with me to a gem show, he always loves the bright greens, the malachites, the jades. And those, the chakras, like Kim was talking to us last week about, have colors. And so a lot of times if you're drawn to a bright green stone or a bright purple stone, that chakra might need a little TLC. And so my husband's heart chakra, he's an accountant. He's very straight-laced. He's very unemotional. And it's not that he doesn't love. He's a very, very loving man. But that's a chakra that gets out of balance for him really easily. And so sometimes you can see that why you are drawn to a specific stone. Now, stones come in different forms. So you have rough forms. This is a calcite. This is a mahogany calcite, I believe. This is just rough. Calcite feels funny, like it almost feels fake, but it does. This is a tourmaline. I love tourmaline. This is a great, if you don't know what you need for like blocking EMFs or blocking negative energy, tourmaline is a great one to start with. And then this is, again, this is a rough spirit quartz. And then you're going to have stones that are tumbled, like the malachite, that's nice and smooth everywhere. Like the snowflake obsidian, it's nice and tumbled. Those will be nice little smaller stones, and you can see they're really small. Like I can just put that easily in my pocket or my bra, in my purse, and I'm good to go. And you'll have bigger stones too. This is a labradite, and you can see that's a little bit bigger. These stones this size are typically going to be sold like as palm stones or worry stones. And those still fit in your pocket, but they're a little bit bigger. So it's just different sizes. Jenny asked, how do you find stone shops or shows? Google is your best bet. You're typically not going to find stone shops in smaller towns. I'm not going to say it's not going to happen, but usually it just doesn't have the market for it. I will say be careful when you are visiting different stone shops. Google is going to be your friend. Like, look at the pictures of the shop. If you get a bad vibe when you're looking at it on Google, you're going to get a bad vibe when you go to the shop. I'm just going to tell you that. That happened to me. Me and my friends went out for my birthday, and we went to a stone shop that was listed in downtown Houston, and it ended up being a pagan shop. And it was a very dark shop. Like, there were lots of stones there, and around the stones it felt good. But as soon as you stepped away from those stones, it felt very dark and heavy. And so it was pretty funny, actually, because it was me and my friend, and we were like these total suburban looking moms in this really funky shop. So just be careful as you're visiting stone shops. And there might be part of the shops that feel better than others. So just pay attention to that. And that just kind of comes around with the territory. So if there's a section of a shop that just doesn't jive with you, just stay away from that section. But just Google gem and mineral shows, or Google, there's a few different things that you can Google that come up with different things. So like Googling New Age shop, chakra shop, or rock shop will bring up different things in Google that you can just kind of look around. And most shops now will have pictures of their shop on Google, and you can kind of see what the store looks like. And you can kind of get a vibe like, ugh, that looks a little shady. Then maybe you skip that one. But I would definitely recommend any stone shop you go into, make sure you're shielded before you go in there. Just because you never know kind of what type of people are going to be in there, and what, if there's going to be any kind of darkness or anything. So just a little warning. Okay, let's get back to different stone types. So this is another stone thing. This is called a wand. And this is used like in massage therapy, foot zoning, things like that. And you can see it's a little bit wider on one end than the other. This is fuchsite with ruby. And I love this wand. And you can just like, I used to get a lot of really bad cramps in my neck. And so I could put oil on my neck. And then I could just use the wand to really massage it in and work that muscle out. So that can be a really great tool. And they're just beautiful. So, and then my foot zoner, she has a wand that she uses to get in, the spots on the foot to help work out tough spots, that come up in foot zoning. So I'm going to take you around my house and kind of show you different ways that I have my stones. Like I said, I don't like to I'm not really into grids, but I do have stones scattered around my house, and I typically muscle test for where stones want to be. So about a month ago, I tested and I said, okay, do I have any stones that want to be in a different place in my house? Or that would benefit me in a different place in my house? And I did, and I scattered them out. And then yesterday I checked, do they need to be changed? Yes. So, I'll go through my stones later, today or tomorrow, and kind of change out where they're at. So let me turn this around. Okay, so this is kind of my rock hub. This is just like a little cupcake thing that I got, cupcake display that I got at Hobby Lobby. But I have a bunch of my loose stones in here. And this way I can just kind of look here. I can muscle test. I can kind of see what stones are calling to me that day. And it just is I just love it. It just is high vibe. It makes me feel really good. And I have it separated kind of by color, so it makes me it feels happy. And I have some bigger ones, and I have some smaller ones. Lots of different ones. And then I have ones over here. These are where I have most of my rough stones. So this is just a little copper wire tree that my husband built. He's a wire artist in his free time. But I have lots of different rough stones. So this is some azurite and some blue calcite. And so I just have different rough stones here around the roots of this tree. And there go my dogs again. But this is a way that I can just kind of have my stones in a pretty way, and they're kind of out of the way, but they make me feel good. When I walk into my office, as long as it's clean and not crazy like my kids left it with me. Sorry, my dogs are going crazy again. Hold on. Hush! Then it's a peaceful place. The stones in here really help me feel elevated and excited. And I can just go through those and I muscle test, or I kind of look at them and say, oh, this one's calling to me today. I want to put this in my pocket, or I want to have it near me. And you're going to have to excuse my messy desk. Another place that I have stones is all around my desk. Oh, my kids, this is not my almond joy. You can see I have my rock, my Himalayan salt. I have some gemstones here to help with EMF. This is a bloodstone. And there's my prehnite. And so I just have stones here around my computer just to kind of help neutralize the EMFs, because I am at my computer a lot and I don't want that to interfere with me. So you can just get rough raw stones as well. And then I wanted to show you one other easy place, an easy way to incorporate stones. And I'm not going to turn it around yet because my living room is pretty messy. But it's here in my living room, and of course we all have, right, our TV in the living room. Now, this is a tri-banded calcite. It's a pretty big stone. And I have that along with a salt lamp up here on my mantle to help with the EMF of the TV and all the electronics. And so you can do that. So you can incorporate stones into your decor and they're actually benefiting you. And so that is a really, really easy way to incorporate stones without it getting mystical or whatever. They can just help with EMFs. You don't have to necessarily do that, do weird things or whatever with your stones. Another thing that you can do with your stones that is really easy is to, you can make elixirs with them. Now, this is something that I haven't done because you have to be careful. You have to do a little research, and I'm a little lazy sometimes. But sometimes your body just might need the vibration of that and need to drink it. And so what an elixir is you just take a glass of purified water and you either put your stone in the water or to the side of the water and let the sun go through it, and it just changes that water's frequency to match that of the stones. Now, you do have to be very careful with this because, like, putting malachite or any stones that might have mercury or copper or heavy metals in them, we definitely don't want to make an elixir. And there are some stones that actually dissolve in water, so we don't want to put those stones in water. So you would need to do a little research. Now, let me show you some of my favorite resources as you are learning about stones. So there is a set of books called the Crystal Bibles, and they're 1, 2, and 3. So these are different volumes. They're not editions, they're new volumes. So they're all different, which is not super clear on Amazon. So I didn't know at first. I was like, oh, I don't want to necessarily get a new edition. But when I got them, they were all different. So just start out with the Crystal Bible, just the very first one. And it's a small book. See my hand. But in here, it talks to you about different stuff. Now, I will say, I will agree with about 60 to 70% of what's in this book. As you look up gem properties and ways to use them, you are going to get some stuff that might not resonate with you, and that's okay. Just discard it and just highlight what works with you. So let's look up, for example, let's look up this, what do we want? We'll do snowflake obsidian, okay? So we're just going to look up, oh, and I'm actually on Obsidian. Look at that. So Obsidian it's going to tell you a little bit about the Obsidian. It's going to tell you that it's typically brown, black, blue, green, rainbow, red, black, silver, gold sheen. It's mainly, it's found worldwide. It's from molten lava that cooled so quickly it had no time to crystallize. And it's going to tell you about that stone. It's going to say, obsidian is a stone without boundaries or limitations. As a result, it works extremely fast and with great power. Its truth-enhancing reflective qualities are merciless in exposing flaws, weaknesses, and blockages. So if you're stuck, if you're not progressing, obsidian might be a great stone for you to grab and just have around you. I have stones on my nightstand right by my bed as well. And there'll be stones to help me sleep, to help with dreams, to whatever you're looking for, they can help. You know, maybe you're having some low libido or romance issues with you and your partner. There are stones that can help with that vibration. So there's really stones for lots of different things. So the obsidian is going to tell you lots of different properties of this obsidian, and it might have so like this one is not really something I agree with. You might agree with it, but it doesn't resonate with me. And so I don't really pay attention to the slide. So it says, obsidian can facilitate in going back to past lives and heal festering emotions or trauma that is carried forward into the present. Now, there are parts of that I do agree with. I don't agree with past lives, but I do feel that we do carry baggage from generations before us. And so I would find that obsidian would be helpful if we are working through generational patterns that are destructive. So you can see, you can kind of interpret it how you want to interpret it and what resonates with you and what makes sense to you. So just read stuff with a grain of salt and don't get offended if you're like, oh, that's kind of crazy. Just skip over it. There is truth there. There is good there. It's just, you just have to weed it out a little bit. And so with Obsidian, there's different forms. And so in the crystal directory, it's going to tell us, so it's going to kind of give you an overview of its personality. And then it's going to have a healing section. Obsidian's greatest gift is insight into the cause of disease. So if you're having a hard time pinpointing what the cause of your ailments are, Obsidian can be a very great benefit for that. It aids in the digestion of anything that is hard to accept and promotes physical digestion as well. It detoxifies, dissolving blockages and tension in the physical and subtle bodies, including hardened arteries. It reduces the pain of arthritis, joint problems, cramps, and injuries. An elixir, and that's what we talked about before, an elixir is beneficial for shock. It alleviates pain and staunches bleeding, benefiting the circulation. The stone warms the extremities. It can be used to shrink and enlarge prostate. And it tells you position, place is appropriate. Use as a ball or mirror for scrying. That's something I don't personally agree with, so we're just going to leave that alone. But you're going to place it. So let's say you're having joint problems. Let's say it's my knee. Then having Obsidian sitting on my knee while I'm watching TV could alleviate that pain. And then it goes into specific colors because it comes in different tones as well. And so let's see if they have Snowflake Obsidian. So Snowflake Obsidian has its own page, so I can read specifically about that stone. So this is just a great resource to have to look up stuff. And there is a lot in this book I don't use, but there's a lot of great information. I usually use this just for looking up the specific stones, or if I have a specific ailment that I'm like, oh, I really want a stone for that, and I can't figure it out. Even it has like a crystal, like if you're wanting to do chakra balancing with crystals, it has a little diagram for that to talk to you about that. That's not something I personally do, but it's something if you like, you can totally do that. And then it does have an index. So if you're like, okay, I need help with resentment. And so it's going to have page numbers of stones that will help you as you're trying to release resentment. Okay. So hopefully you can see how useful those are. The crystal, the 2 and 3, same things, different stones. So if you're not finding all the stones you want in the first crystal Bible, then you've got 2 and 3. And I will say that most stones that you're going to come across will be in the first one. If you're like me and you become kind of a stone hoarder, then the second one, third one would be advantageous to add as well. If you don't want to buy a book, there is a great resource called Crystal Vaults, VAULTS, crystalvaults.com. And they have an encyclopedia, a metaphysical encyclopedia of the stone properties. Same thing with the book. Read it with a grain of salt. But there's a lot of beneficial information out there that can help you understand why you're drawn to a specific stone. Honestly, I rarely back into it. So if I'm feeling angry, I'm like, oh, I need a stone for anger. I usually muscle test and then I read about the properties. I was like, oh, I am feeling anger. So identifying the stone and its properties help me identify my emotions. But if you know that you're angry and you need a stone for anger, you can go into Google and say gemstones for anger, and it will pop up different recommendations. Okay, Google is your friend, but again, read it with that discerning eye. If you come across a website that you feel icky about, find a different one. If it feels good, keep reading. So just pay attention to those feelings because they will guide you to truth and will help you understand what these stones can be used for. So again, bracelets in your pocket, in your bra, in your purse. I totally have random stones in my purse most of the time. And the stones really do work. We were at leadership and I had 2 of my teammates and friends were having issues. One of them was having a lot of interference from just the large crowd. And so I had brought extra bracelets just in case. And I was able to let her use some bracelets that helped shield her and help her headache go away. And then we had another friend that was pregnant and having a lot of pain. And we gave her, I had some different bracelets that she put on. And of course she put on some oils as well. And she felt so much better and kept wearing those bracelets throughout the leadership. So they really do help. Christy asked, where do I get my salt lamps from? I actually get them from Home Goods. I like to buy them in person, because if it's a salt lamp, you can like lick it. And I'm not going to go like lick it in the store, but like lick your finger, wipe it, and then lick your finger again. And you can taste if it's salty. And don't like overthink it. I think when we overthink, we worry, we have anxiety, that stops us from getting good things, right? And I'm not going to say they don't have good salt lamps on Amazon. They do. But you're not able to handle it before you get it. And so that's kind of my... But if you do know muscle testing, if you've worked on your muscle testing, you can muscle test. Is this salt lamp going to be beneficial? Is this a good salt lamp for me? And you can test that from a listing on Amazon or another website. I do that all the time. I do that on Etsy when I need a new stone. If I test it, I need a stone. And let me show you real quick. I have like a whole list that I test from. And, I need to show you guys that too. I don't know what my list is, but I have a whole list that I test from to get what stones do I need, what would benefit me. And I do the same for my clients when I work with them, especially if shielding comes up or something like that. And I will tell you, if you start buying stones, you're not going to memorize that this is, I can't even remember what this is. I know it starts with a P, but it's this pretty pinkish purple stone. So what you can do is, and this is actually what I do, is every time I get new stones, I put them on a piece of paper and I write what they are. I take a picture of it and then I print it. And then I have this so that I can go back and say, okay, what does this stone look like? Where can I find it? So I'm going to look up this pretty pink stone because I don't remember what it's called. And I can just look on my pages and see what it could be. Because guys, I've got a really good memory, but I can't memorize everything. So you can see all the different things, and I'm just going through looking for, here we go. So right here, oh gosh, of course I picked that one. Phosphosiderite. Phosphosiderite is what it's called. Okay? And so then from there, I can look up the properties of that stone. But I would really recommend, especially if you're buying multiple stones at once, take a picture, have it labeled, and then that way you can have it around your house. You can use it and not have to like keep stickers on it. I do have some stones that do have stickers on them. Some stone shops will have nice little bitty stickers on them, but a lot of times they won't be marked, or the sticker will be kind of ugly and big, and so I don't always keep the stickers on them. So it's very, very rare. So guys, stones are fun. They are not scary. If you're drawn to something, get it. There's going to have some benefit for you. It really does add an extra layer. Oh my goodness. Hush. Okay, that's my cue to go out. My assistant just got here. But don't be scared of stones. If you're called to stone, if it's calling to you, use it. Bring it into your life, put it around you, and have fun, guys. I love stones. They really bring me so much peace and are just such a great tool to use. So start diving into them. Post questions that you have after this, and I'll be happy to answer them. Guys, we'll see you later.